Now that we have created our chart, we're going to add some data labels for our chart and add some titles. So when you select your chart, you will see a plus sign on the far right-hand corner. It's green and it says Chart Elements. When you select that, you can turn on various elements to your chart. The element that we want to turn on is Axis Titles. Data Labels is always a good one to turn on, but primarily you want to leave the other items that are already checked on rather than turning them off, because typically they're like the default ones that you want to keep on. After you've selected the various items you want to have show up on your chart, you can click where you, for example, see Chart Title, and you can then change it so that it says an appropriate title, like Media Log. As for the y-axis, or what we refer to in Excel as the vertical axis, we're going to select the text and we can call that number of minutes. And at the bottom where you have the x-axis, the horizontal axis, we're going to label that media types. And now your chart has been successfully labeled. I did forget to mention it in a previous video, but you can actually widen your chart by clicking in a corner and dragging it away from the chart. That'll make it larger in case some of your headings do not display properly. The other thing that's really nice, and I'll put that in this video as well, is you can easily take this chart by going up to your chart tools, which is under at the very top. When your chart is selected, you will see a design and a format tab. Primarily, those two tabs have to do with formatting the chart. We can easily change the chart type by looking across that design tab at the top, and it's called Change Chart Type, and it is located over on the right. And if I select that, I can then, if I decide this chart was not suitable for me, I can choose, for example, a pie chart. And on the pie chart, if I select OK, it takes my information and converts it into a different format, so it may make more sense depending on your information. I did have the data labels turned on, so they are now displayed on my pie chart as well. But because this chart does not have an X and Y axis, it does not have those titles that we had. So in this particular chart, it might be best to go to your chart elements and make sure that you have a legend. A legend is like a key that kind of shows what colors various things are. So I can check legend. The other thing is too, when you're working with a pie chart, you usually want to know, out of the 100%, all of these numbers in the form of a would equal 100% if it was showing us, for example, how much time I spent on TV, DVD, or movies. I want to see, okay, it's 39% out of the whole amount. So I can go to my data labels, and there's an arrow that will give me more choices. I can rearrange where they're located, or at the very bottom, there's more options. And sometimes even data callout would be very helpful to choose. I actually like the data callout on this one, and then I don't have to have my legend on, because then it displays the percentage that I spent on that particular category out of the whole amount. Those numbers should add up to 100%. If I didn't want the callouts turned on, I could go to more options, and there's different choices that you have. You can turn off like the category name and only have the percentages, especially since I have the legend turned on. So it's kind of a matter of preference with whatever you would choose. So at this particular time, you can take a moment and see if you can create a different type of chart from your original, and make sure you add various labels and possibly a legend to make it make more sense.